All right, let's go and get to the bottom of these 50-50 frontside 180s out. Do 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 do. Nice, nice. Nice. So pretty solid. There's going to be some little places we can improve, but the general idea is there. What do I mean by this? You're coming in, nice angle, not overextending the legs too much, meeting the landing, and then activating counter rotation and popping up and rotating through. There's just going to be a few things we can do to make this a lot more fluent and feel a lot more casual. So first, I know it's not the best snow, but see how you're going and sort of digging in and like pushing off, and we're having this like moment of like extension, holding, and then coming in. This can be really solved by just adding a little bit more bend to the legs and having your upper body come a little bit more. Right now, because you're so tall over your board, you're needing to rely on pushing off that toe edge a little bit to help you get onto the rail. That's why as you're coming in, you're sort of slamming into the side a little bit more aggressive than you need to. Again, it's not a big deal, but we're just looking for those micro changes. And where we can really see it is how much snow is being kicked up with you when you're jumping. So what I'd want to see here is just a little bit more pulling back of the hips, a little bit more chest forward. The more bend we have in the legs and the more the chest is forward, the more we're going to be able to separate them. This means that you'll be able to rotate your upper body more when actually on the feature, allowing you to go get a lot cleaner counter rotation. Because at this stage right here, you're really set like pretty much flat base, but imagine if your hips were out a bit more, chest was forward a bit more, how much that would increase the range of motion in your hips. This would let you go and get way more wound up and way more pop action. Your actual timing for the pop and when you're taking off and everything coming in correlation is really good. But notice how you're landing and you're pretty in an exaggerated position, not too flexibility. This is telling us that you're using your maximum range of motion in order to get this 180 around. So by adding a bit more upper body rotation, it will let us go and counter rotate without needing to use as big of a snap, as much torsion, and that will let you get into that toe edge a little bit cleaner. But it's honestly really fantastic, dude. I'm nitpicking pretty hard here. We can really see it on this one. See how you're coming in on a good line, but look at how tall you are coming in. Now, as you're transitioning and you want to get on the rail, you're adding this little bit of intensity and this little bit of turn. Now your whole body's angled over here, but look at your upper body, still too tall. To be fair, if you went and added more hinge in your upper body and more bend in your legs in this position with this board angle, you would have gapped over the rail. So your upper body is actually really good in correlation to your in run, but your in run's more exaggerated than it needs to be, and it's making the whole thing more complex than it needs to be. So I want to see you add a little bit more bend to your legs, get those hips out, get that upper body forward, and then coast off. Knowing that because your upper body's forward, the natural coast will make it so you transfer naturally onto the rail, giving you way less sideways momentum and letting you stay in a more athletic stance. Because when you're jumping onto the rail here, this stance is actually pretty good. Up and over, nice bend of the legs, pretty happy with that. And then when you're jumping and extending, here, I think this will be easier to just show you. So right now what's happening is you're coming into the feature, sorry, regular footed, you're coming into the feature like this, and that's making it so you need to come like this to jump onto it. And because you're doing like this little jump on, it's making it so you're elongating, so when you're on the rail, then you need to add more bend before initiating spin. But when I do this, I'm adding a little more bend, a little more hinge forward, so when I come off the end of the feature, I naturally get put forward with very minimal sideways momentum. This makes it so I can go and land and then immediately start opening my upper body. And because I have this more bend in my upper and lower body, look at how much I can go and get rotation. Where if I'm a little bit taller, a little bit less bent, it's going to really limit my rotation. So this is max of fist bend. With this bend, like it's hard to get around, but as I squat it down more and more and more, I can now get my hips going and get everything going. And this lets me explode more. And it leads me into the last place you can improve. If you're popping too high up, you're not going to have as much room to counter rotate. I want you to feel this around, feel how that disconnects your core, makes you weaker. Where if you're here, you can pop up just as much, but now look at how my upper body is really pulled forward and keeping it down here. Remember, when we do a 180, our rotation goes over whatever point. So if it's off the heels, we rotate. We're now heels over here. And if we want to rotate off our toes, then we want to go and really exaggerate that upper body, so we pop in and land in that toe stack position. Where if you take off too flat, it's going to make you a little more flat base, make you come around a little more stiff, hitting the ground. So take a little bit more bend in your upper body, a little bit more hinge in the hips, make it so you coast off, naturally get on the rail with less impact, and then this should let you use more range of motion, keeping that chest down, keeping it driven, so when you pop up, the frontside 180 comes around a lot smoother. Other than that though, you're doing everything right. Let's just go and add that little bit of tweak, and it should take your frontside 180s out to the next level, and these principles will go and build into future tricks as well.